News that's coming in at the moment, it's Army Chief's special address on the Kargil Vijay Diwas Day. Army Chief has paid tribute to the Kargil heroes. General Upendra Dwivedi has paid tribute at Drass. India Today is reporting from Drass in Kargil. And some time from now, we will have the Army Chief's special address. Today marks 26 years of the Kargil War. Images that you are seeing on your screens are coming in from Drass in Kargil. The Battle of Kargil unfortunately came at a very steep human cost. More than 500 Indian soldiers were martyred. Over 1,300 were injured. Across the country, one can still hear the stories of the sacrifices that were being made by the officers and the Jawans. Captain Vikram Batra, Lieutenant Manoj Pandey, these are household names now. My colleague Shivani Sharma is now joining me on the story. Shivani, we are expecting the Army Chief to speak and to address on this special occasion, the 26 years of the Kargil Vijay Diwas Day.
Aishwarya, in minutes from now, we are waiting for Army Chief's address, and this will be very special because, he has not spoken on any public forum or an open address after Operation Sindoor. So today when he will speak, he will not only remember the brave hearts here in Drass, Kargil, where he has laid wreaths, he has remembered those heroes, but he will also be speaking how Indian armed forces are prepared for any kind of misadventure of Pakistan, and how we've achieved our goals in Operation Sindoor, and how we have countered any kind of challenges during Operation Sindoor. We have countered Pakistan when it was trying to intrude us with those drones across the western border. So a lot we are waiting for when the Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi will be speaking, he will be addressing, and he has always made sure that when he speaks, there are a number of important points that he gives away. So what would be the key points today when he's speaking? He's speaking for the first time. We've heard the CDS a number of times after Operation Sindoor, but this will be the first time when the Army Chief, who was leading the operations at Operation Sindoor at different domains, will be speaking, will be addressing on the occasion of the 26th commemoration of Operation Vijay here in Drass, Kargil.
Right, Shivani, one of the important things that you are pointing out is the fact that we will have the Army Chief speaking for the first time since Operation Sindoor. We have seen how major politics has taken place with regards to Operation Sindoor, and we will also have that big discussion in the Parliament starting from Monday. The opposition will be asking questions, the government will be replying to it. But yes, today all the eyes are on what the Army Chief has to say. This is the first time that he will be giving out an address after Operation Sindoor.
Aishwarya, you are absolutely right. Right after the Operation Sindoor, the political commentary had started. There were questions, especially from the opposition, on Operation Sindoor, how the things were handled, how the ceasefire understanding was achieved within no time, the announcements that were being made. So a lot of questions that the opposition has been asking, and you're right, when the parliament session is on, the very beginning of the session had been with the demands of the opposition for a discussion. And now the discussion is also scheduled in both the houses. So before the discussion, when the Army Chief will be addressing, all eyes will be on what he is going to speak. We've heard the Defense Minister after Operation Sindoor. We've heard the CDS after Operation Sindoor. In fact, we've heard a number of dignitaries, veterans, the DGMOs who addressed the press conferences. But for the first time, we will be looking forward to Army Chief's address here from Drass, Kargil, where he will be definitely speaking about Operation Sindoor and what these reactions would mean, what would be the messaging once again for Pakistan, what would be the strong and stern warnings that will be coming ahead from Army Chief's address.
Right, Shivani, all eyes now on what the Army Chief will be speaking about. We have seen how the entire world saw what India did. There were 11 targets that were being hit, and one thing that India made sure, no casualties. That's something that India very clearly said, that no civilian lives were lost. This was very, very specific, very, very targeted attack that India did. Shivani, that's also something that India will now be focusing on to make sure that only those areas, only those buildings from where terrorism actually starts, the very starting point of those things is something in Pakistan, those specific buildings, those 11 targets, that's something that India time and again has spoken about. The government also has given out clarification that no civilian lives were lost in the attack that India did. They have only destroyed those buildings where terrorism was taking place.
Aishwarya, India has made it very clear at all times that we have never provoked any kind of reaction. Even the initial strikes, when the 9 terror targets were hit, the aim was just to destroy the terror camps who have been intruding into Indian boundaries and targeting innocent civilians. When Pakistan tried to misadventure with these drones, then India had to counter. And even then, Indian armed forces made very sure that these counter operations were measured because they do not harm any civilian inside Pakistan, inside Pakistan territory. And only the military targets, the air bases from where the attacks were on India were damaged by India. So it was all a measured operation that India had took on. So the escalation was being done from Pakistan. It had been provoking India after the Pahalgam terror attack. And even after the initial strike, 9 terror targets, it tried to intrude our civil boundaries. It tried to attack our civilian territories across Jammu and Kashmir, the western border in Rajasthan and Punjab. And India has been very focused in its responses, but India has made it very clear that even a small act of terror will be taken as a act of war, and we will just not tolerate even a single terror misadventure by Pakistan. So now we are going to hit you very hard. But yes, India makes sure that it doesn't harm the innocent civilians, even inside Pakistan.
Right, Shivani, very, very clear messages came from the government, and also, we did see those hectic parleys that were taking place between the government and the chief of the army staff, all of them continuously meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The government made sure that a befitting response was given. And Shivani, if you remember, this news that came out in which it was very clearly mentioned that the government has given the defense forces a free hand. You can hit the target as per your choice. You can hit it whenever you want, whatever you feel will be a befitting response to the horrific Pahalgam terror attack. So that's the kind of free hand that we have seen the government over the past many years giving to the defense forces.
Aishwarya, I remember you and me reporting from outside in national capital when these parleys were happening. Remember, Prime Minister was meeting the service chief, he was meeting the NSA, he was meeting the leaders, the veterans, and all this was a preparation for Operation Sindoor. And yes, it was declared from the government that the government has given a free hand to our forces. The forces will have to decide what they want to do. So that freedom of always been the Indian Armed Forces, and very important that the terror outfits will be completely destroyed. That was a very strong message that the Prime Minister had also given in one of his.
We'll try and reconnect with my colleague Shivani. Shivani is in fact reporting from Drass in Kargil. In fact, as India marks 26 years of the Kargil Vijay Diwas, the celebrations this year carry added weightage. Coming in the wake of Operation Sindoor, the Indian Army's enhanced capabilities, the drones that you can see, the robo-dogs that the Indian Army has started to use, the upgraded air defense system, all of you show how far we have come since 1999.